So I guess, thank you, Marian. So as she was talking, I mean, she's been with Ho'oponopono for many years and experienced, but as she was talking, one of the things that came up for me was when she says cleaning or applying the process, she is doing some form of her Ho'oponopono process. Now, in that Ho'oponopono process, again, she's very experienced, and she's probably doing a lot of this matter of fact, like anybody in their field would do, but she's having to include, and Marian, you might listen to this and have much more to add, but she's going to have to include where the artifacts came from, origin of the peoples, sometimes if they're involved in burials, who was buried with it, the lands, the cultures, sacrifices that may have happened and participated in some of these religious icons. I mean, a lot of museum pieces come from burial sites. And so I can imagine the job itself could be quite daunting to begin with. How do you clean with working with dead people and dead people's things and some of the horrors that go along with it? So anything you want to mention about that, Marian, in your sort of, you know, you've reached a peak here, but there's been a lot of cleaning that you've come up to getting this.
Well, I just, you know, what I really love about the process is that I can clean on any of that. But also, if that's not the thought that comes up into my mind right away, I just clean on the thought that comes into my mind. Like, maybe I'm working on this really ancient thing, but what's really happening is that my tool busted and that's aggravating me. So I can just even work on aggravation. And whatever else that cleans with, it helps to move things along. So I remember one time when I was working in New York, I had this piece from Africa that I was working on. And it was materials that were used to divine the spirit. So it was used by a sorcerer or a practicer of white magic or black magic. I didn't know. But I was sitting at this table working on this piece, and I felt like there was a volcano erupting right next to me. And my boss at the time, who was on the other side of the table with her back to me, she said, "I don't like you working there." And all of a sudden I realized, you know, it was everything that was coming off of that piece that I had the chance to clean with there. I didn't know what it was. All I knew was it was some heavy stuff. And so I just started applying the tools that I was using at the time and the cleaning processes that I knew at the time. And I could feel things shift and change, but I knew that what I was working on had a lot to do with what was going on around me that wasn't necessarily part of that object, and that my interaction with people right there at the scene was involved with it as much as anything else. So I can work on the cultures the pieces came from. I can work on where they were found in burial and the people who took them out of burial, who removed them from where they'd been, who became the stewards of the material when they came into the museum, the people who talk about them, any of that. If I clean on anything that just comes up in my mind, I'm doing the cleaning on what I'm aware of, and what I'm not aware of can go as well. I hope that answers one of the things you were talking about.
And so then also what comes up here in this job, which is so specifically dealing with something that we might have a concern about, like the burial sites or dead people's things. The care of the self is a big part of it. The care of that you take for your subconscious in your day-to-day cleaning, and how you relate the conscious mind with the subconscious mind is a big part of getting your subconscious to participate in the cleaning and to basically not freak out.
Right.
So the same thing would happen to somebody in real estate. I mean, if you're conscious, the concept of working with land is huge. I mean, you're not only going through who owned it before, but prehistoric times, earth formations, formations and lands in the galaxy. So it's a big deal too, but we may not be so aware of it as something like that Marian's working with, that she can pinpoint and is specifically.
One of the things that came up where I live is that there was a dispute over some of the land, and it went to court. And I would walk around that area and just clean with the land. And you know, we have some physical cleaning tools like the seaports and things like that. And so I was guided to put one of those on that land, but to keep cleaning on it. I didn't know it was going to happen. But what I did was I put into my cleaning all of the things that happened from the beginning of creation, because whatever manifested today could have happened centuries and eons ago, and I had no idea whether it was covered over with water at the time, or you know what it was that was causing this eruption of a problem. But I was able to clean with whatever it was just by asking that all of that go in there.